We've got another face-off today, but it's a sort of faith versus faith because we've got two different versions of Faith. They're both the same beer, but the new one has got lower ABV. So has it changed, and is it better? Keep on watching to find out. Welcome back to Rocker's Beer Review. Today we're going to Faith, Northern Monk's Core Pale Ale. And if you notice, these are two different looking cans, but they are actually to some extent the same beer. But they've released a new version. This is this one here. And it is obviously the same beer, but it is now 5%, where before it was 5.4%. So I expect within a matter of weeks, you won't be able to get the old type anymore. But so let's see whether the new one is better, whether it tastes different because it's slightly less in ABV, or whether there's no difference at all. So let's do a face-off. Get them both in a different glass. I'm going to use the Polly's glass for the new version, and I'm going to use the Premier Hop for the old version. And we'll see whether they smell the same, whether they look the same, and obviously whether they taste the same as well. So I'm going to pour. This is the OG version, as it were. I mean, Faith generally is a very good beer. It's one of those sort of beers that, as the summer comes, you'll probably find that you're thinking about putting a box of this beer. I mean, I managed to get a box of the old one. I was quite surprised because a lot of the supermarkets have already got the new stuff in. But this is like £6 in Sainsbury's, and I managed to get an old box, and then obviously the new one's the same. So that's the OG. Let's pour out the new one. I mean, these are 330ml cans. I expect you'll be able to buy them in the 440 cans individually, but I think in terms of value for money, it's always better to buy the 4-pack of small cans. And I say it's just one of those sort of beers that's just really great for the summer. So, beer in a glass, can we see much difference? Well, if anything, I'd almost say the old version looks a little hazier. There's more of that sort of yellowy colour, whereas the new one has got slightly more orangey sort of tinge to it. So straight away, I am seeing a fairly distinct difference there, which I'm quite surprised at. I mean, head-wise, I have always to do with the pour. I mean, the new one's got a finger of sort of fairly frothy head, whereas the old one is pretty much just a sliver of head. But yeah, there's definitely a difference in colour there, definitely. So let's see what the aroma's like. First, we'll take the original one. Yeah, I mean, it smells good. It's citrusy. There's a bit of pineapple in there. That's the aroma, sort of lemons and limes, grapefruits, and a little bit of sweet pineapple as well. Smells pretty good. Let's see what the new one's like. It's similar, but it's almost like it's lost a little bit of its edge. It doesn't quite smell quite as good. So far, the old one looks better and smells better. But will it taste better? Let's see. Cheers, everyone. It's light, it's refreshing. There's lots of fruity flavours though, but it's a little on the watery side anyway. Let's see if the new one is any different. Well, I'm going to have to say that whether it's the can or whatever, but the new beer is not better. It tastes to me more watery. I mean, it's obviously, we've lost 0.4 ABV, and it's a bit more watery. Yeah. The flavours on this are a lot more pronounced. You're getting lemons, you're getting pineapple, you're getting grapefruit. With this one, it's almost like it's losing a little bit of its complexity. I think maybe because its body is even thinner. I mean, this isn't like a Polly's Pale Ale where you get sort of a fairly sort of decent body on it. It's still a light pale ale beer, but the flavour sticks a little bit more. Whereas the new one, it's really, you can tell it's water, it's just a little bit more watery. You get an initial taste, but then it's very, very watery. Well, I've got to admit, I thought this was a bit of a sort of a false narrative, really. I thought 0.4% is essentially the same beer, but they've managed to sort of brew it a little bit lower ABV. They'll say, oh yeah, it's probably because people want to be healthier and all that, and we want lower ABV, but I don't think 0.4 is enough. I don't know if this means that the duty on the beer is less as well. I mean, I don't think there's enough difference. I think it's going to have to be quite a bit more to go down in excise, but I don't know enough about it. It might be a case of beers up to 5% and including 5%, the excess is one thing, or excise duty, sorry, is one thing, but over 5% is another, hence why they've got it to 5%. But they've definitely made the beer worse. Really, I'm really surprised. I really thought that it was going to be a very difficult thing to sort of determine. But if you've not had the new one, and you can still find the old one, do the test yourself. I'm interested to see if anyone has done this, or they're more of a connoisseur of Faith, and so they know straight away if the new one, they don't need to do them side by side. They can taste the new one and go, yeah, that's not quite as good as it used to be. It's definitely more watery. Really is surprised how less flavour there is, and more and less body and more watery. You know, all of those different things are all things that sort of downgrade it. So if you can still find the original Faith, and if you see them both on the shelves, which as I said, I think I got lucky to see them both, because they were both on the same shelf at Sainsbury's. If you see the new old one, stock up on it, because it's better. If you see the new one, I do like the new. I think the new branding and everything, it looks better. It looks more modern. When you see it against, I'll put this one down. When you see it against the old one, there's definitely, you know, the old one definitely looks a little bit on the old-fashioned side now. You can see it looks a bit dated. It used to be I always think it was quite good, but this looks more modern. It's a better design, I think. But the beer inside is not as good as the old one. But let me know if you've had both of them, what you think. I'm not going to do scoring or anything. Faith is still a pretty decent pale ale, but you know, this has definitely gone down. I'd be interested to see whether it's actually where more people start moving away from Faith and buying the other one, the Hellfire Club one. I don't think it's the Hellfire Club. It's called something like that in the white can. It's another hazy pale. It'd be interesting to see how that compares with new Faith. But for me, OG Faith is still the best. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed this face-off. As I say, please let me know if you've tried both and what you think. If you haven't, I'm interested if you go out to the supermarket and you buy them, whether you think that it's changed. For me, it's definitely gone downhill, and it's a little bit of a metaphor for Northern Monk generally, because I think their supermarket beers have definitely gone downhill. Certainly in the last year, this is disappointing from a brewery that I always held in very high esteem. But yeah, they're struggling. Let me know in the comments. I've said it enough. I've said it another time. And until the next one, you know what you do. Drink good craft beer. Find it, drink it, enjoy it, and keep on rocking.